Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to be covering the exact appointment setting process that I've used to help generate over 1,000 qualified sales appointments. Now, this is the process in any sales and marketing funnel that is often overlooked. Now, you've spent all the money, time, and effort to generate the lead. Now you got to get them to show up. If you don't have this process locked down, even the most qualified lead could potentially slip through the cracks, preventing you from turning those leads into actual revenue. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover a couple things. We're going to just talk about the problem, when to actually do this process, and then I'm going to give you a step-by-step process and some actual tactics you can use to generate leads, convert those leads into actual paying customers. Now, let's dive into it. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Isaac Wood. I'm the founder of Levergrowth.io. We're a B2B go-to-market agency. We're working with B2B tech, finance, and agency businesses, and we've helped these businesses generate 1,000 qualified sales appointments, as I have already mentioned. And so this process we've used and developed over time in the trenches. This isn't just a theory. This isn't just something that I found in a book. This is actually tried and true practices that we've used to get leads to show up to sales calls. Now, again, we're going to go through this plan step by step, and hopefully you'll be able to have a few actionable items that you can use to help improve your show up rates so you can actually make more money at the end of the day. Okay, so first step in the process, you've received a lead. They've replied back to your message. They've filled out a form, right? So this is going to be relevant for you if you're doing outbound or if you're doing inbound. So if outbound is going to be anything like cold email, it's going to be cold calling, DMs on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever your preferred platform is, you're going to want to qualify your leads. This also works for inbound traffic. So inbound meaning if you're running any sort of paid media to a form fill, if you have organic content that's driving traffic and you're getting them to fill out some kind of a form, right? First thing you want to do is make sure that the lead is actually qualified. And so in order to do this, there's a few key things that I like to recommend to all my clients. And it starts really with Clay. And so inside of clay.com, there's a lot of different tools. If you've watched any of my videos before, you'll notice that it's just one of the key and most integral parts of my process. And so Clay, in short, is a spreadsheet on steroids. It allows you to manipulate data and enrich for data and actually even find data in the first place. But in this case, we are using it to qualify our leads. So what you can do inside of Clay is set up a webhook. So you set up a webhook inside of Clay. Anytime you get an interested lead who replied positively to your email, you can automatically send it and send their information into Clay. Or if you get any sort of interested lead through your paid media, you can send and enrich that data into Clay. So assume you now have your lead inside of Clay. Typically, you're going to have at least a company domain. Now, what you want to do, you want to set up a Claygen inside of Clay. This is going to allow you to qualify a lead. So what I typically will do is go into ChatGPT, come up with some kind of basic lead scoring formula where you prompt it and you say, hey, this is the criteria for my best fit companies. They're in this industry. They're in this location. These are some of the other key criteria about them. And so help me create a prompt that will actually score a lead based on some research. So once you have created the prompt, I usually like to say score it on a scale of 1 to 10. And so anything less than 5 is DQ, and then greater than 5 is a good fit and moves on, right? So the key thing here is you want to be filtering your lists ahead of time. You want to be using your forms to potentially qualify your leads further, but oftentimes people are still going to slip through the cracks. This is just going to be a way to make sure with certainty and clarity that the people that you're spending your time with are in fact good fits and could potentially be your customer. Now, this all assumes you understand your ideal customer profile. Again, I talk a lot about ICPs in other videos, and I suggest just going to check those out if you are unfamiliar with ideal customer profile concepts, but they're pretty simple, right? Who's the best fit customer for you and your business based on those who you're able to deliver for best? get the best results for and are the easiest to deal with in your specific position, right? So the focus is scoring the lead. Once you've actually scored the lead, we're in a good spot. So now that we have assumed we have a qualified lead, what you can do then is make sure that you and your sales team knows that that lead has come through. And so the way that you do this is you set up a Slack notification to notify your team within 5 minutes that an interested lead replied. Here's their info. Reach out now. So the important thing here is you have that lead, you've now qualified them, and then you've notified your team. So if you can get back to that lead quickly, then you're going to have a much higher chance of converting them. And I'm going to talk about this more in a second. But really, the first step in any sort of appointment setting process is in first making sure that the lead is in fact qualified. All right, so the next step is going to be reply handling. So whenever a prospect replies to your lead, again, the most important thing is to reply back in less than 5 minutes. Like, this is so incredibly important. And the reason why this is so important is because when a lead is replying, they have interest. They're either in pain at that moment, they are looking to solve that problem, it's front of mind, and because they've replied, they have a little bit of time. And so because they have time, you have captive attention, and you need to capitalize on that active attention. Sales and marketing is often a game of timing. And so if you can get them to actually reply back to you and you can capitalize on that quickly, you have a 400 times improvement in terms of your overall conversions versus if you reply to this lead and call it an hour or a day, right? So that's really the first most important thing. Some other key things you want to note when it comes to like your reply handling is always respond to their question directly. So what I mean by this, never like skirt the question. If people ask for pricing, that's usually like one of the biggest things. I don't love giving a specific exact price point every single time. It's usually best to give a range and then you push for a call. So, hey, what's your pricing like? Based on my review, typical pricing would be from X to Y, but in order for me to give you a more direct and specific quote, we can hop on a call, we can understand a little bit more about your situation, right? That's going to be a bread and butter, tried and true way to reply to the pricing objection. On the other hand, if your pricing's all over your website, you can just give it straight up and, you want to substantiate a little bit in terms of giving them some social proof and some additional results. But the key thing is to just respond to their question. Don't be vague. Don't skirt it, even if it's something you don't necessarily want to answer. If it's a big, broad question, you have very limited ability to influence in a cold email. So I just like to be very direct and straight up with them and then just use like additional information as a way to hop on a call. So going back to the pricing example, hey, this is our range in price. Given your exact situation, it'd be helpful to understand more about what you're looking for. We can understand that by having a quick call. What works for you, right? So when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're always like pushing for the next step. So the key thing here is like giving them a specific direct next option. Don't leave them with like 5 other questions. Assuming they're qualified, assuming they're potentially a good fit, say, hey, next step here is to actually book in a call with us. And so the way that you want to do that is you want to provide like at least like 2 times and your calendar link. Right. So what I mean by this is 2 times. Hey, later today, between 11 and 2, and then tomorrow between 9 and 11. You want to give a wide range of times. You don't need to give 70 million different time zones and different timing options. I always give them 2 to be helpful and then provide a link with additional booking so they can then book it at their will. If they reply back to you and say, hey, time X is good for me, then you just book the meeting and forum. Plain and simple. That's really going to be the process. But the goal and the main things to think about when it comes to any sort of like reply handling, is always get back to them very, very quickly, respond to their question directly, and then always give them a specific plain next step. Third step here is going to be automate your booking process. I typically use Calendly. It's going to be one of the best tools around, and it's a great software to use because you can integrate your own calendar. You can set your available times. There's other calendar softwares that exist as well, but this is the one that I use and I have all my clients hop on as well. And it works really well. So the benefits here are, it's relatively inexpensive, and then it allows you to prevent the back and forth of, oh, I'm not available here. Are you available there? They might be available at that time. This just simplifies it. So it simplifies your booking process, plain and simple. So a couple things that you want to do when it comes to your actual booking process. So once you've actually booked them in, you want to send them a confirmation email. So this one, it can be automated or manual. I like to do a manual reminder, just initially being like, hey, we just chatted live, or you just responded to my email. This is the time you're booked in for. And then you give them a couple clear next steps. And then, hey, like watch this video. Usually it's like a VSL or a case study. And then, give them some other like ideas around. And then you set expectations. Hey, call will be 30 minutes. It will be on Zoom, etc. Right? Like those are the big things you want to focus on in that initial confirmation email. Just make it really clear. Hey, we're talking at this time. Here's a resource you should check out to give more about our process. And then this is when and how to access it. Further, you're going to set up a few automated reminders. So again, right, you want to do like an immediate reminder from Calendly, and then you want to have one like 24 hours in advance. I like to do it like 3 hours in advance. And then I have one more that's 30 minutes in advance. And so these are pretty much just saying, hey, reminder, you have a meeting with Isaac X time. This is the Zoom link. And you just do that 3 times. Those will be automated through your Calendly software. And many times people say, oh, that sounds like a lot. The answer is it is. But again, like because you're really focused on keeping their attention and making them show up, you want to just be very, very consistent and direct and clear about what's about to happen. You can also include options to reschedule or cancel the meeting if you feel that's necessary as well, just to be really helpful. But pretty simple part of this process. This alone will help you increase your show up rates to 80%. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the first 72 hours after that lead booking. So this is like a super important time frame because remember, like in most cases, you're going to be doing cold outreach. If they're coming inbound, they know a little bit about you, but either way, you want to use this opportunity to pre-sell. So the goal for any sales call is to turn it into an order taking call. If you can set up the call and you can pre-frame the call ahead of time, you want to do that. And so the first 72 hours are integral in doing so. And so what I'll actually do is create an automated flow of emails. And you can do this over the 3-day time frame. Usually I wouldn't book a meeting out further than 72 hours. In some cases, it's a week, but 72 hours is a really good time frame for cold traffic because you're top of mind. They remember you. They remember why they booked. Anything longer than that you're gonna see a decrease in your show up rates substantially. Again, like the goal here is social proof. And so what you want to do is you want to share like a case study video or an asset. I like to send Gamma docs with video embedded. So like that can be a YouTube video, it can just be a Wistia, whatever you're specifically using. But written and video is going to be best case. And the reason why that's best case is because you can meet your prospect where they're at. This is like with Loom videos or VSLs, it's like you want to be able the prospect to read and hear and see your face and hear your voice because that builds trust at a rate that is hard to get with just text alone. So it also helps them remember it better, right? If you ever read a book or read a book and listen to a book, you're going to have a much better time remembering it and remembering its content. So this is just using that sort of tactic. So you want to include case studies, you want to include more social proof, you want to include process. So what we do, why we do it, and what makes us different as just a couple key components. And so this is also in addition to these automated Calendly reminders. So again, right, you want to do at least email 1, we'll do like a case study. Email 2, you can have like another client success. And then like email 3, you can have like key FAQ. So like what I mean by busting an FAQ is, hey, these are the most common objections and this is how you handle those objections. You can keep those into pretty brief emails and you put those into a tool like ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign, and you just have those automatically sent out when a Calendly meeting is booked, or when you have a Calendly meeting that's booked, and you're going to be hopping on the call. It's going to be way warmer. They're going to know you. They're going to have a little more trust in you because they're going to see some of your results and your case studies. They're going to know a little bit more about your process. So again, like instead of hopping on the call and the first thing that they've ever heard from you since your email is, oh, this is a sales presentation, we're going to run through some discovery. It's like they're going to have a much better sense for why they're there, and they're going to have a better feeling for, is this even a good fit for them in the first place? So that's a really essential part. Key thing, 3 emails at a minimum, case study, client success story, and then some key FAQs. You want to include things like what's your process, why you do it, what makes you different. And then the next one here is going to be 90-day nurture. So once you've taken the meeting, assuming they have not yet closed. If they close, great. This isn't as relevant, but in many cases, it's not the right timing. They need to think about it. They need to go talk to their business partner. There's some things internally in the business that have changed or are changing that would lead them to need to make a decision next quarter. There are legitimate reasons why people don't close immediately, despite what some of the sales trainers might say. I think it's going to be case by case. In some cases, people are just trying to BS you. In some cases, there are legitimate objections and concerns. You're going to just have to play that and use your own sales acumen there. But again, assuming they haven't closed, what you want to do is just continue to stay front of mind. So you're going to have a 90-day nurture flow. And so the way that you're going to do this is, again, through a tool like ConvertKit or like ActiveCampaign. And you're going to send an email, like day 1, day 3, day 5, day 7, day 14, day 30, day 45, etc. Right? So they're getting quite a few touches from you like over time, and you'll see like the window for the delay in between each subsequent email extends as you get further away. So like I said, if people aren't going to make moves on your offer in a quarter, they're probably not going to buy at that point in time. Doesn't mean you don't want to keep them on your email newsletter or your nurture over time, but you're going to want to blitz them with more nurture, higher intent emails like early on, because again, it's like you want to just make sure that you're front of mind, you're keeping the attention, you're staying into their headspace, you're staying into their world. And if they are evaluating and wanting to make a decision, then you're going to be front of mind when the time is right. So the key thing you want to focus on when it comes to these is social proof, right? Like you see it over here in the first 72 hours, you want to give process, you want to give case studies and client success, but like you don't want to stop there. You want to continue to just make it undeniable that you're able to do what you say you do. So again, case studies. The best case study is going to be a before and after. Those are huge. What else? We have social proof, giving before and afters. We have other trainings like, hey, this is a recent end-to-end masterclass. Like a masterclass is an amazing way to build an insane amount of trust with people because they say, hey, this is free and I've got an amazing amount of value from this. They're going to be that much more inclined to actually purchase from you in the future, right? So you can give master classes, you can give their YouTube videos, other content, and then you can also use it to like seed lower ticket offers over time. So, right, like a free audit re-engagement, which is simply like, hey, um, we're offering a new workshop, we're offering a new free thing that you can get them to hop on the call. And you make it really simple for them to reply back. You can just say, hey, like reply here and we'll get back to you. Right? Something as simple and basic as that. It doesn't need to be, hey, you want to hop on a call between X, Y, Z times, because again, this is mainly automated. And so you just want to keep hitting them, keep showing up in their inbox and having them read your messaging over and over again. And so again, if they haven't converted over the 90 days, you probably want to just remove them from like your active inside of your CRM and just reallocate your time and your priorities on folks who are newer leads or more likely to close. And the key thing here too is you want to, that's super important that I definitely should not forget to mention, but it's call your leads. Like you got to call them. So hit them up, send these nurture emails over time. But if you have their text, you can text them. You can give them a call out of the blue, just see what's going on. Has anything changed? Did they solve the problem that was the main objection when you guys were talking on your sales call? Like any reason, you can manufacture a reason to call your lead, right? That's the important part. You want to stay front of mind, plain and simple. So here are a couple keys to winning, just to give a quick recap. Time to lead. Most important thing, reply back within 5 minutes, strike while the iron is hot. You want to convert your leads at a 400 times increase over waiting 60 minutes to a full day. Respond to their questions directly. And the next thing here is, push for next step. So that means like always saying, hey, this is the next step. Take a call, book a call. Here's some times. Give them your calendar link. Then you want to automate it. You want to automate your reminders, make sure that they remember, they actually show up to the call. Then you want to hit them with some case studies and social proof for 72 hours. Super, super important. Then, over the 90 days, you want to just stay front of mind and build proof. That's the key thing. You want to continue, hit them up, show them that you're legit, show them that you know what you're saying, show them that you know how to get results for somebody like them, how you've done it consistently, you continue to do it, and sooner or later, timing is right, they'll buy from you. Now, this is the process in a quick nutshell. How to get your leads to actually show up. We're seeing 80% plus show up rates. It's pretty much the benchmark that we're looking for. And if you're looking to get 80% show up rates in your own process, then go to levergrowth.io, book a call with me. We'll see if we can help you out, see if we can help generate more leads, get those leads to show up and actually turn into revenue. Now that's it for the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.